Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot for September 19th. This is a rare Saturday video that I'm doing, but one cannot let the passing of Ruth Bader Ginsburg to go unmarked in some way. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a reading. I want to see just how she's doing. And I want to see what this looks like in terms of the election and in terms of the Supreme Court. Before I get started on any of that, on tomorrow's Positive Energy Circle video, we are going to be doing positive energy for SCOTUS and kind of the politics going forward as a result of this. And before I get started, I would like to ask each of you to take a moment, if you so desire, to just send some love, light, compassion to her family, to her close friends, to the other justices who have lost a colleague, an associate, and I'm sure a friend, to all of those whose lives that she impacted, in all the different roles that people may have played as they moved in and out and through her life and the impact that she had on them. Let's also send our love and understanding, because that is a loss for them too, especially those law clerks. I think that's like a really hard one. So now I can tell you energetically that she is in the light. She is a little sad that she couldn't just hang in there another 50 days kind of thing, but she understands that in time, the hindsight, the wisdom of what happened is going to make sense. And she energetically, she just wants you to, she's not leaving the earth plane right now. She has gone into the light, so she is not trapped on the earth, but she is choosing willingly to stay on the earth. She's going to be working sort of with friends and family as they go through the grieving process, but she's also going to be staying very closely attached to the actual Supreme Court. And she is joining with other energy beings who are doing the work that needs to be done to try to right the course of the United States. There's a large group of them, actually. For those of you who are not aware, this is direct channeling. There is a large group of them, these higher vibrational beings, and they have surrounded Ruth, and she joins together with them as they work, sort of in the light and with the light, in an attempt to stabilize that which needs to be stabilized within the country of the United States. So let's take a look now at the election and SCOTUS and what that's going to look like. Come on down, I have a question. Let me just give this a couple of good shuffles. One more. Maybe two. I didn't like that shuffle very much. There we go. There we go. SCOTUS and election, SCOTUS and election, SCOTUS and election. Okay, we'll just leave those there. I don't think we'll see if any of those apply. So this was indeed sad news for all, but a few. For some people, this was very exciting news that this hero of the law had gone into the light, because they see it as just another opportunity to, fill in that vacancy with somebody who is, more in keeping certainly with McConnell's ideology. Now, some people in the Senate are going to have some very difficult choices to make. Okay, so Murkowski has already said she will not get involved in filling in that vacancy before the election. I understand that Senator Chuck Grassley, has also said that, although, considering I really believe that he's one of the people who could very well be passing along Russian misinformation, I sort of will see how that one unfolds. But you've certainly got, the Susan Collins, who, she's hanging on by a thread as it is, but if she has any hope at all, she sure as heck can't vote against the Democrats in trying to slow this down and push back on this. So I think what I want to warn you about just energetically right now is, from a political standpoint, there's going to be a lot of back and forth, sparring kind of going on between the two parties. And, the harder one pushes to stop it, the harder the other one's going to push it forward. And that's kind of going to be the energy that you're seeing. But it's very interesting to me. One of the things that I saw earlier today was some clips of Graham saying that if there was a vacancy within the last year of, or it wasn't the last year, I think it was once the primary started or something, he would never ever approve going forward to trying to fill that seat. So that was what he said. Actually, I think he said that after this election. I think it was 2017 or 2018 maybe. But he is not going to be able to honor that because he is so beholden. But this very well be what gives Jamie Harrison the boost he needs to surge past him. So again, understand that not everything is a instantaneous catastrophe. And I really ask that you try as hard as you can to not fall into those sort of rabbit holes and go swirling down kind of, the sky is falling mentality, because it feeds absolutely into the energy that Trump, and by extension the Republicans now, feed from. So the sort of more agitated and more worried and more upset and more scared people get energetically, that is exactly what gives Donald Trump and the McConnells of the world the power they have, because they're able to use it and manipulate that energy. They feed on it, as I've said before, like sort of vampires. So, but I don't see yeah. So, part of what is sort of right up in the air right now is you've got, Mitch McConnell screaming, he could barely get his sort of sympathies out with regards to RBG's passing before he was assuring everybody who didn't ask that he would absolutely be filling that seat. But you're going to see this sort of back and forth, this push and pull thing that goes on. It really looks like the Democrats are going to really step up their game. They're going to get some really sort of sharp marketing and messaging out there, like super duper fast. And you're going to see a lot of, trying to shame these people. They can't really be shamed, but certainly people who are maybe still undecided or not sure, they're going to be seeing that and formulating opinions if they haven't already voted. I don't think that I don't believe that the people who sort of would be inclined to vote Republican, but maybe kind of turned away a little bit because of Trump and his antics. I don't believe another conservative justice at this point could really be enough to sway their vote, because in reality, they already have control. The conservatives already have control of the Supreme Court. They have had, whether or not Justice Ginsburg passed or not. And so all this does is give them a slightly bigger edge. The reality is that some of those Republicans, have been a little kind of embarrassed. Some of them don't care at all. But I don't think that this is like catastrophic. It just doesn't feel that way. It feels like there's going to be some confusion, but it also feels like it's going to, I don't know if they're just not going to be allowed to move forward on this, if McConnell's just going to continually get blocked. I don't know if when it comes right down to it, he's not going to have the votes. And I honestly, I can't even tell you if I think that they might nominate somebody who is so unbelievably, outrageously ill-equipped and inexperienced that even, some Republicans just push back and say, whoa. And that has happened. So, some of these Senate confirmation things, there have been, people that come up who have just been not good, and they have pushed back. So I don't quite know, but I just don't get the feeling that things are going to be rushing along. Make no mistake, they're going to do everything they can to use this woman's passing to their advantage, because they're political animals and they do what they do. I mean, the drive and the need for power is what defines them, and they're certainly not going to step back. But it definitely feels like things are going to get slowed down. It definitely feels like there's going to be a wall of pushback. It definitely feels that some people are saying, you know what, I can't vote the way you want. I can't pass judgment the way you want, because that's not going to work for me, basically. So, very, very interesting energy here. It does not feel, it feels like things are going to move ahead. This is what you kind of got to realize. And see, this is the thing. As a country, you're going to have to find that balance between punishing those who have done wrong, who flouted the laws, and setting up a precedent where a new government completely obliterates everything the old government did. And because then all you would do is you would get into this perpetual, one side builds something up, the other one tears it down, up and down and up. You'll never get anywhere. The country will just stagnate in this continual feud. And so there's going to be caution about sort of, taking on every single thing that was corrupted. And so I have to tell you honestly, I think even, and I don't think it's going to happen at this point, but we'll see. But even if they manage to cram somebody on to the onto the Supreme Court bench, there is no rule, people, that the Supreme Court has to have only 9 justices. maybe the Supreme Court requires 11. So my point is, just try to tamp down on the real fear and the anxiety. You don't want to feed into exactly what you don't want to get. And okay, so this explains these cards, right? You've got a lot of worry. You've got, a lot of positions juggling. You've got people basically, taking whatever they want, doing whatever they can to win. It's going to be really blatant, almost to the point where in some ways it's really going to be viewed by a lot of people as sort of sickening and pathetic. But ultimately, that which is in the best interest of the country, that which moves the country forward and more into the light, is exactly what is going to transpire. And here comes the Justice card, absolutely assuring you that justice is going to be served ultimately. And sometimes, even though that's hard, we have to trust that the universe and karma come together and sort of take care of that which is in need of a course correction, if you will. It definitely looks like there's going to be a lot of stuff that kind of gets reviewed. But again, I think that if you're hoping that, the Biden government steps in and they, remove Gorsuch from, and they remove the other guy who with the beer problem, whatever it is. I try not to retain some of these names, I'm telling you. Him, we all know who I'm talking about. I don't know that that's going to happen. I think that maybe a better way that they might tackle that is to try to neutralize them by simply toppling moving the numbers in a way that is more favorable to the liberal side. And frankly, again, elections have consequences. And this is one of the things one hopes that the Democrats have learned, which is you cannot ignore things and just assume that somebody isn't going to come along and try to topple it, especially when it is a contentious issue such as Roe versus Wade. There was just sort of this sense of it's done. It's, what is that, established law? Well, you know what? If you get enough people pushing back in exactly the right way and you stack the courts in a way that really does lean towards conservative values, you're going to get serious pushback. So one hopes that the Democrats do what they need to do on multiple levels to try to course correct a lot of what has been going on. So I'm just going to quick shuffle these again really quick, and I just want to see if this is going to create a sort of a significant enough shift that will allow that will sort of shift the odds of Trump winning in his favor. Okay, and I think I'm just going to ask the question exactly this way. Will Trump win? Will Trump win? Will Trump win? And by win, I mean the election. I mean, legally, staying in office, okay? I'm not talking about he wins for 2 days and then more votes are counted. I'm talking about literally in 2021, is he still going to be the guy in the White House? Okay. So, Mitch McConnell is going to do everything in his power to really try to ramp up the base, get them all excited, really push this. We need to get this done. It's really important to the, conservative bench, yak. He's going to be spinning this like a top. I mean, there's just going to be the guy's actually looks like energetically, he's actually got some energy in him. So this is sort of his thing. But the fight for the White House is really about a return of two primary attitudes, if you will. It is the sort of a new beginning of a country where empathy, compassion, gentleness, inclusivity. Just, I gotta learn how to say that word properly. And a place where the rule of law and the norms and, those things that have been long established norms, it's time now to start sort of again and make sure that those norms are actually put into laws that are workable. So the promise of the White House is about new beginnings. And so you can't have new beginnings with the old occupant. So then what you have here is a lot of messaging coming out of the Senate. None of it's going to surprise you. Some of it may appall you. It may disgust you. But I don't think that it's going to be enough. He has the 5 of Cups, disappointment. He has the 5 of Swords, losing support and him doing what he can to pick up what's left. And of course, heartbreak. So I gotta tell you, I really don't believe that Trump, there's the Tower, I really don't believe that Trump is going to be able to pull this off. Too much of what he has done has been so dangerous and so detrimental and so harmful. Just, this is not going to be enough. So I really, for right now, I really wish everybody would just breathe and know that as a collective, we are going to do what we can to keep positive energy going in that direction and keeping our hopes up and not falling into this sort of really fearful and frantic energy. And I will stand corrected. I did, the last time I checked into Ruth Bader Ginsburg's energy, I did say that I didn't see her leaving before the election. And so I was wrong, so I'm sorry. But, and I'm really not trying to justify it, but one of the messages that came through so clear when I was channeling was that she's not going anywhere right yet. So I guess, how can I say it? Maybe literally I was wrong. Technically, she's still going to do what she's going to do. I don't know that much changed because she, went through a doorway. But rest assured, the work has not ended. And the work will continue, and it continues both on the planet, off the planet, and kind of in all the dimensions and spaces in between. So your job is to vote. Your job is to stay positive. Your job is to not give in to fear and worry and all of those emotions that just tend to throw everybody into a tailspin. There's not a good way to soften this. The United States has sustained a significant loss. And frankly, there have been a few of them lately, like really, Elijah Cummings and John Lewis and Ruth Ginsburg. There's been some really heavy losses sustained lately. But in all of those cases, I, without a moment of doubt, completely believe that they really haven't gone very far at all, and they're still fighting the good fight and getting into good trouble on the other side. I hope you found this at least somewhat reassuring or comforting. Again, the positive energy circle for Sunday is going to be for the Supreme Court, and take it easy for the rest of the weekend, and I will see you on Monday. Until then, take care. Be well. Bye-bye for now.